Oh, look at this. The drama.
Hello.
How you doing, Sheila?
Good. The Gemini has showed up. Drama will commence.
Well, thanks for doing this. It's good seeing you again.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I need to reciprocate and have you on my channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love
We
to
would
do
have
that.
fun. What you could do is we'll do the same thing we do on your channel on my channel.
Yeah, I've never done that before, been on someone else's channel.
Oh, you would have fun.
Yeah, let's do that. Oh, so first, Marby, thanks for the tip, honey. Good to you, as always. Good to see you again. So Sheila, what's it's been a few weeks since we've hung out. What's going on in your neck of the woods? To me, my assumption is you do this like 25 hours a day.
Oh no.
Really?
No, I do not. No, I put out a video. I try to do at least one or two a week. I do political readings, of course, as you know. And my neck of the woods. And then I also offer private readings. I'm just so scheduled out, and I don't do any private readings throughout the summer, only because I am just too busy. And so my neck of the woods. And then I have you tonight, and then I am doing a video with Dave Johnson. I don't know if you know who he is, but he also does channeling, and he's on my channel. So I'm doing one tonight. And then Thursday, I'm doing a video in a collaboration with Lori and Danny Shea, who I think you should have on your channel. I have a whole bunch of people because I love Lupian. What is her first name again?
Yeah, Deborah. Deborah with two B's. Yeah.
Oh, she is fantastic. You're going to really enjoy her. I had her on my channel a couple of times, and she's just lovely. So you guys will not be disappointed with her for sure. So yeah.
I'm open to meeting new people, and I'm curious about a lot of parts of the metaphysical world. And, we're going to learn about Akashic Records tomorrow. I never even knew that term until about a year ago.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, Deborah reached out. She spoke highly of you, and she mentioned the collaboration. And so I got the Zoom with her for a little bit a few days ago, and she was great. So get the same vibe, Sheila, that I got when we started chatting. It's just like,
good.
Okay, this is going to be a fun one. So
yeah, she's smart as a whip. She just really, those silent ones are just smart as a whip, but when she starts talking, you can just tell the depth of her intelligence. She's just brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna really enjoy her. I love her.
Yeah. And I just always find it alluring when you meet someone who's just grounded, just has it together.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yeah, that'd be her for sure.
Yeah. So Sheila, I don't know if you have access or if you are following the live chat at all.
I can. I see you down here. I have my my iPad down here. Yeah.
You don't have to, because I have questions at the fore. I'm just saying there's a million people saying hi to you tonight. So
hello. Hi everybody.
Yeah. So don't feel obligated if it messes up with your train of thought or anything else.
No, I'm pretty okay.
Yeah. So, all right, folks, if you're just tuning in, welcome to Bridge Cape Ann. She is Celtic Tarot Sheila, and I am Corey. And Sheila, you let me know how much time that you can offer tonight. We're cool with whatever.
I'm good to go until I'm not. I'll let you know.
I like
There's sometimes you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. All right, are we ready for some questions?
Sure, let's go. Let's try it. Let's do this.
Cool. Okay, thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. Let's have some fun. All right, the first question, it's an easy one. This comes from Marianne Prokopek, who's always with us. Hi, Marianne. And she asks, Sheila, are there any topics that you don't wish to be asked about?
Ooh, there's some unspoken rules in this community. I won't answer a question like, does my boyfriend still love me, or does my wife still love me? Right. I won't answer those. And the reason why that is because it's not them you have to focus on, it is you that you have to focus on. So I'll be more than happy to do a reading on you. Where do you need to be healed? Where do you need to readjust your cells? And so I always turn to that. So making sure that we keep it on the person I'm doing a reading for, because what they really, and sometimes somebody wants dirt on their boyfriend or girlfriend, and I won't do that either. So there's that. And a lot of times I don't care for, even if I get the information, I don't answer questions about somebody dying. Like, when are they going to die? Sometimes that information comes to me in a personal reading, and sometimes I'll go, Well, it looks like there may be a little trouble in that area, and who knows? I don't know how long they're going to be here. I try to delegate, but I won't go in on somebody's death. I don't do any of that, and I'm not a medical reader either. A lot of people want me to do a medical reading on them, like how is my health doing? I said, well, what I could do is I can go to find out which emotion is causing your health problems. Those I can do.
Mm.
So those
Yeah.
are
So
the type of things.
well, so then let me ask, how difficult is it when you get an incredibly vague question? How do you, what's your process? How do you sort through that? Are there some questions that are just unanswerable?
So sometimes they're unanswerable. But I love cold questions. Absolutely. The less I know, the more I know that I'm going to tap into what spirit is telling me, because that's the information. That's all I have available, right? So the more vague, the better off it is. Like, what's my week tomorrow? And they know a whole bunch of the story, but I'm going to go in cold, and that's best for me.
Very cool.
To do that. So sometimes you come across information that you really have to have some communication, human communication, empathy, to answer and to tell people. If you do not have empathy or communication skills in order to deliver a tough message, don't do it. Just don't do it. I mean, there are sometimes when you're doing a personal reading, you have to deliver some messages.
Yeah, difficult.
Yeah, but you do it the way spirit would want them to hear it, not the way a human would. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, your husband's terrible. No, let's reevaluate that and say, hey, your husband is having struggle, or he struggles in this area according to what you believe in or what you're going through, or something along that lines.
Mm. So Sheila, just to get to know you a bit too, when did you realize you were gifted in this area? I mean, was it at a very young age? Are there other members of your family that sort of were feeling the same vibrations? How did this manifest?
So realization and doing it are two different things, correct? I was doing it all my life, but I didn't realize what I was doing until I was in my 20s, well, late 20s, early 30s. I finally got some really good information. Now, my sister, I'm 6 out of 7 children. So my third oldest sister, I'm the 5th girl, but she's the 5th child, or the 6th child. So but I'm the 5th daughter. And so the third oldest daughter handed me over some tarot cards when I was like 20, 23, something like that. Oh, I love them, right? I connected with them so much, and I understood them, and I studied them, I slept with them, and I knew that I could do tarot cards. But you see, the thing about that, of being so young, I didn't know the depth and weight and what the tarot cards really meant, and how it connected with spirit, and how it connected with the healing, and how it connected with all that. That stuff I learned later on in my 30s. And realization was slow and steady with that. So I don't know how else to kind of answer that. It wasn't like a lightning bolt hit me one day. I'm like, oh, I'm psychic. You're right.
Right.
It was slow and steady in the process. And the process to more awakening was more healing. The process to more doing this job was doing more internal work. So the more internal work I did on myself to get me prepared to the opening and receiving information, the more I got it, the more information I got. It was like it's like that. So
very cool. And then, so Sheila, then as more and more people began trusting you, and you start to do this as, for work as well,
right.
What did you feel like an extra, like a weighted responsibility when other people just were entrusting themselves and opening themselves up to you?
Yeah, I have a responsibility to tell the truth. I have a responsibility to make sure that I lead with integrity. I tell the truth, and I know that they trust in what I'm doing and what I am saying, and I'm not going to fake a spiritual connection. I'm not going to fake a reading. I'm not going to, like, if I don't understand what the information I'm getting, I say it out loud. I do not understand what spirit is trying to tell me at this point in time, but this is what I'm seeing. And I'm not going to interpret it if I don't know what it is. type of thing. So if you lead with honesty and integrity, I think you're pretty good with that.
Well said. Yes, walk your truth. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Sheila. Okay, so let's get on to our question. How about this one from Janet Stelly, who's with us tonight? Hello, Janet. Could you please ask Celtic Sheila if there is anything happening March 22nd? She's hearing that lots of folks have that date floating around. Do you see anything on March 22nd for some reason?
Well, I'm going to look and see what day that is for one. March 22nd is next Wednesday.
Yes.
And is this according to the world, politics, anything like that?
I would imagine this is the world politics. That's what I would imagine. It's a political tinged question.
So I know nothing about this March 22nd deal. And I know a lot of readers can sometimes pick out a date, which is, I've done that. I had January 2nd with Donald Trump and him trying to call Georgia and ask for a whole bunch of votes. It's like something happened on that day. So I know that can happen. My feeling right off the bat wasn't fear. I can tell you it wasn't fear, and it wasn't like I was scared. I'm throwing some cards on there to see what we have down there. So I see March 22nd as being like Hangman is a new perspective, something new, something is going to change our belief system, something's going to change our thought process. We also have temperance. Temperance sometimes is economy. The economy in moderation, something maybe, but temperance tells me fixed, not broken. So maybe something is going up, and then we're going to expand something on March 2nd. So on March 22nd. So the expansion. I hope it wasn't bad news is what they're thinking, but I also see justice. This could be where Trump actually gets indicted, maybe. Because I see justice at that. So the balance with a new perspective, we're going to have a new perspective if he does. It's going to, help the country to come to terms, and he's going to be held accountable. So there's like a majority is going to have that feeling, and we're going to have that expansion of finally. So this may be a Trump indictment.
Interesting.
So what was the question? What was everybody else getting?
I know someone is asking, they heard something about an open portal on that date.
Yeah.
Some people are mentioning the bank failures. There's a lot going on right now.
Bank failures, I don't think is going to happen at all. I do not see that. This was a scare tactic. People got scared. It was a one-off. I don't believe it. A bank, I don't. We got to move away from that. And I don't. I think that was just a scare tactic, and it didn't work. That's what I think.
Okay, thanks for the question, Janet. Next is from Nydia Braunstrup. Hi, Nydia. Always good to see you in the chat. Sheila, will China or Germany sneak attack the Ukraine by water specifically?
Wow, where are they getting all this? So Germany, no. So I'm looking at each one of the countries, and I'm looking to see if red or blue, red or green, red or green. Okay. Germany, green. No, they're neutral. In fact, they're helping Ukraine. As we speak, they're helping them with fighter jets and things like that. So there is, and I was over in Berlin, and they had, when I was there, they had the connection. So Germany, no. China is focused on Taiwan, and China, so the vision that I just got was that China and Putin were trying to come up with stuff but China and Putin are not getting along. In fact, they're not seeing eye to eye. Like China wants something to help Putin, and Putin's not willing to give. And this was in a remote view that I had done a couple of weeks ago. Panda, don't eat the dog's food. There's a little doggy down here, and she's just eating up her food. And so there's that, but China is definitely focused on Taiwan, and their goals are different. So hang on just a second. I have to put this food up or she'll just eat it all
Yeah,
up.
that's fine. I have dog delays here too all the time. Okay, so while she'll take some care of the dog, you are watching Celtic Tarot. Sheila here on Bridge Cape, and it's our first one-on-one on the channel, so we're super excited about it. We're getting to your questions in time. I want to reiterate, tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be with Deborah Lupian, voice of the Akashic Record, so you can tune in for that as well. Okay, welcome back, Sheila.
Did you guys hear the crunching?
Yeah.
I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah. She was making hay. That was pretty good.
She was.
So it's so funny that you brought up remote viewing. I went live last night to gather questions for you. We got a whole bunch of questions. Literally, my next 3 are all about remote viewing. So
I'm more than willing to do a remote view. It's going to feel uncomfortable for you because I close my eyes and I go into it, but it's totally up to you. And it takes some time, but
I give you all the space and time you need, Sheila. So that's, yeah, you're steering the ship tonight. So anyway, okay, so for starters, well, let's start with this first. From Pixie Dust, who's with us tonight. Thanks, Pixie Dust. Can you ask Sheila what the ethics are around remote viewing? Does that make sense?
Yeah. The ethics around remote viewing. I'm not sure. Well, each reader is going to have their own ethics around that. Mine is, I will not remote view somebody who is like praying or having a relationship or a conversation with their higher power. I won't do it. I won't go in their bedroom. I'm not going to see who they're sleeping with, right? Those are my ethics on that kind of a thing. I won't. So public figures, and we've explained this before, public figures have already given us permission to do what we do because they are public. They are already giving permission to be in the public with us. I think it's wrong for me to go into their family home, to remote view their children, things like that. I don't have permission to do that. And of course, with somebody, I don't have permission to like remote view Corey because he hasn't given me permission to do so. Ethically, I would ask his permission if he would let me do that.
I see. So yeah, so it can be invasive, and it's an invasive process, right?
It is. It can be an invasive process. Not that some readers don't go. I just don't do it because I do. I want to always hold with integrity, right? And so I follow those simple rules.
Gotcha. Okay, and then on the heels of that, Val in Southwest Pennsylvania asks, Sheila, while remote viewing, did you ever feel that you were spotted?
Yes. By Putin.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did a remote view one time and I was going in and seeing, because his medical thing was public. And so I was going in and seeing what I could see, who was taking care of him or whatever it was. And he literally looked at me and I went, whoa. And it's always been said that Putin was into this kind of art, this kind of thing. And the moment and then also, I don't know if anybody knew, but remote viewers were employed by the American military years ago, like in the 50s, we were employed. And so most countries know about remote viewing. And therefore, he looked at me and I'm like, well, okay, I'm gonna go over here. You know what I mean? I'm going over here. But that just means that his spirit and he's aware of us remote viewing him. Doesn't mean he literally saw me, but he's aware of what we do.
So do you believe, so I had an interview with a friend of mine, a Ukrainian friend, because we usually get asked if Putin is still alive, or their doppelgangers, a body doubles being used. And she made it sound as though it's very common knowledge to Ukrainians that there are multiple people playing the role of Putin publicly. So
really?
Yeah.
I don't get that. And I still feel that he is alive. I still feel that he's very sick. I feel that he is pumped he's pumped up with medicine. He is to make it through. That's been my feeling, and that literally could give a remote viewer who is, kind of young in the energy, an impression that he's dead, because medicine will do that. Medicine will shift you from a person who feels alive to a person who feels dead, because of the medicine will block all of that humanness.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
What do you feed your pets?
Lord, now that's the little one. She's like ancient. I think she's like 15 years old, and she has that little cough.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on.
Okay. So as Sheila tends to the beast again, we are spending our first one-on-one with Sheila. We see all the comments in the chat, lively chat tonight, which is great. We are going to get, it sounds like we're going to get a remote viewing soon. We do have a question from Maria Rodriguez, who has a specific request for remote view, which is very cool. I haven't done that on this channel before. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Corey from Bridge Cape Ann, coming at you from, the Gloucester area in Massachusetts. We do this every week for you. And normally Tuesdays, Wednesdays, somewhere in there. I'm on live at evening times on the East Coast. Tonight, of course, we're with Sheila. Tomorrow night, we'll be with Deborah Lupian, voice of the Akashic Records. Next week, we will be with Jill Diliberti. She reads tarot for us. We will actually be side by side. She's a local. And during that show, we're actually going to be giving away a 1-hour reading with Jill. And in order to do that, all you have to do is sign up to be a Bridge Buddy. Annalie Finch, our moderator, can drop that link in for you. And then after Jill, next week, we'll be with best-selling author Susan Wadia-Els of Busting Breast Cancer. So anyway, welcome back again, Sheila. I like these little commercial breaks we get to do.
Well, ironically, I was doing a live a while back, and she was down here, and I didn't realize that everybody on the live was hearing her. And she was whining for her mother, which is my daughter-in-law. And so I had to remove her from the basement too. It's, it's just my life. I told you, Gemini shows up, drama will be here.
All right. Well, hopefully there's no interruption here, because we do have a request for a remote viewing. We got this last night from Maria Rodriguez. Question for Sheila. Have you conducted a remote viewing of President Zelensky? What did you see or feel?
I did do a remote view with Zelensky. And of course, you feel his sadness and his anxiety and stuff like that. But at the end of that remote view, it was because I remote viewed him if he was going to live, right? If he was going to make it through. Not that I do living or dying, but I was really worried about him, the country taking him out. And so and he lived, right? And so I'm like, oh, he lives, because I saw all the way at the end where everybody is like in a circle, like Whoville, and they were like holding hands and singing and stuff like that. And they were rebuilding, and they had won. And so that remote view is just beautiful. So I have done that. And literally after that, I have not worried about him living or Ukraine losing. I've seen it that they win steadily, but they win.
Yeah, and that was another interesting point that my Ukrainian friends, what we've done often on this channel is we've interviewed her. She's part of huge fundraising and awareness efforts here. She's stateside. And then we actually raised a lot of money, and people were buying through her Amazon wish list to supply soldiers she knew. And so she was actually going to the Polish and Romanian borders and finding friends and sneaking supplies over to these soldiers. And the soldier was literally taking selfies of tents and boots and flashlights that people had bought to thank them. And she said the last time she spoke with them, morale is actually very high. Obviously, there's the deep sadness of,
Yes.
residential areas getting destroyed, et cetera, but like they are in it all the way. I mean,
they are.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That remote view, they're in it for all the way. They will not allow, Russia to take not 1 ounce of land from them. They feel like that would be a betray to their country. And so, yeah, they're in it. And they're so smart.
Yeah.
Clever is maybe a better word for them, but they utilize everything to their advantage.
It's amazing when you see these photos of the city's destroyed. 2 weeks later, everything's functioning again.
Yeah, they figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite story with them is when they were stealing the Russian tanks, and the farmers were hauling them off. I was, I mean, to laugh in the middle of such tragedy, but they really gave us, that sturdy, cheering on hope for them. So
Yeah, unbelievable. So, okay, thanks for the question, Maria, Val, and Pixie on that. Okay, next question comes from Betty Cantrell. Sheila, could someone have gotten rich with the bank failure?
That's a good question. Other than a talking point from the Republicans getting campaign money because they would say that Biden is a failure, that's one way. But she's probably thinking somebody in the banking. So if one bank fails, another bank gains, right? So if one bank, everybody's pulling their money out, they're going to want to put their money back into somewhere else. So that's one way of a gain. And ironically, this bank that everybody started the thing that they were going to collapse, and the rumors went out, and everybody started to remove their money. It was a bank for small businesses and entrepreneurs. And so these people had more than $250,000 in the bank. They had, close to millions.
Yeah.
And that's what collapsed that bank the most, is when the rumors, they knew which bank to pick. So it would make sense that somebody was going to gain something, whether it be political, financial, because they have somebody else's bank is going to take over, they absorb that. And, just to collapse this country.
It's interesting because I've always heard stories growing up. So my family's Sicilian, and I live in an old fishing village where there are big pockets of Portuguese, Finns, Italians, and a lot of them, when they came to the States, they hid their money like in mattresses and walls because they came from places where the bank system always failed time and time again, and they never trusted it. So it's interesting just to see these things just repeat itself over and over again.
Right. So, the Congress got together. In fact, one of the Rep. Jeff, what is his name? Jeff, what is his name? Jeff Jackson out of North Carolina. He's on TikTok, and he puts his information out there, and he says they got a phone call early in the morning, a Zoom call. They all got onto a Zoom call and talked about it, and he pretty much explains it. He goes, we got to stop the rumors. We got to stop the lie. And he says, this is the bank it was like not true of a thing. It's like whatever was going on was not true. And that's what happened, was a rumor got out. And that's when they started to pull out all of their money, which then created the failure. So, and then he was talking about it straight from, and he's a Democrat that's from North Carolina, that he's pretty a straight shooter. So.
Gotcha. Let's see. Rose Blue, a mattress still works for me. So I tell you, I know people who actually do speak their camping. So Rose, if you just want to leave your street address here in the chat, we'll follow up on you shortly on that. So
we'll come over for dinner.
Yeah. All right. Similar topic, Sheila. This is from Joe G. Your feeling on the U.S. economy, are there more bank crashes to come? You sort of touched upon this earlier, but just to reiterate, I suppose.
But I'll do a Celtic cross on that. Just to soothe the soul. Let me just do a thing on that. If there's going to be any bank, I don't think so, but we'll let spirit and the cards speak through the spirit. First up was the conflict. First up, literally the conversation where they're going to be bank, there was conflict. So that tells me conflict in the whole conflicting arguments, conflicting information, conflicting intemperance shows up, like it's already balanced. So it was something in that. And it did. Sorry, judgment is over top of it. Judgment over that. So the bank itself, it was a tower moment, right, for them. It did have that crash. It did have that failure, but temperance is over top of it again. Coming into it, Queen of Cups, so that compassion, that caring. Interesting, a Queen of Cups. Going forward, Queen of Pentacles, the hard work, and so that's the final outcome on that. The romance, the charming, the beauty of the whole situation, because they're going to put a whole bunch of barriers in place. They're going to do a lot of hard work, and they're going to be putting a whole bunch of barriers. And the Queen of Pentacles comes out where, you know, they have Queen of Pentacles is that providing that financial stability. So there's loss and regret and disappointment that was involved in this because of the bank, but they do bring about stability. And no, they lay low, it rests. This is like a one-off, like I was saying before, and the ending of it, death, ending of it. So I think this is literally the one-off on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I mean, unfortunate situation. I mean, you have a lot of those people, like you said, entrepreneurs.
They picked the right bank.
Yeah.
That was obvious. That was a hand-picked bank.
Right. There you have it. Okay, thanks for the question, Joe G. There was a follow-up, a feel of the real estate market. I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, Sheila, but I mean, we keep expecting a softening, and maybe there's been a slight softening, but still things are like unbelievably sky high.
They are high.
Do you see a softening at all, or like what maybe do we revisit the 2008 housing crisis?
I don't see the prices coming down. I really thought after a COVID, we would have a crash and that things would come down, but it didn't. It was during COVID and at the end of COVID, people were wanting and needing housing so badly that it was a meat market out there for all the housing around here. And the reason why I know that is because my son and my daughter-in-law was buying a house at that time. And they kept on going to a house after house after house. And they're like, yeah, we want it, but somebody would overbid them. Somebody would already come in. They could not get the house they really, really wanted. And they had to settle with the house that was available. That's what happened. And so now they're selling their home to go to Chicago, which the prices have dropped in Chicago compared to here. And they the same thing. They've only been out there. They already had a contract on it. The person that the contract, they didn't get the financial thing, but I mean, they're already still fighting over it. And it's high. I mean, the price of their house, the house that I live in myself, 13 years ago has gained equity so much.
It's unbelievable.
Bizarre.
So are you in I live in a destination area. Do you live in a destination area? Like we have a big summer tourism season.
Yes. I live in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So yeah, we have the Garden of the Gods, and we have a whole tourist season here. Yeah, Manitou Springs, things like that. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how young people can start nowadays, whether it's student debt or the housing market. I just have no idea how they're doing it right now, or to even think of starting a family on top of that.
I agree. I don't see it. Most of them are working online. Most of them have a van that they're driving all over the country and they're not paying rent. That's how they're doing it.
Yeah.
There's so many young people right now have a build out of a van that they're doing. And all over. So they're really not participating in the economy at this point in time. And they have, and the YouTube, literally YouTube and TikTok are paying their bills, and they're paying them handsomely. Right?
Yeah.
TikTok pays way more than YouTube does, but you have to get 100,000 followers in order to start getting paid.
Right.
So they raise the bar. That bar is higher, but both. And so that's what they're doing. They're working online and not paying a mortgage, and that's how they're making their money, and that's how they're gaining.
It is surprising how big of a pie the social media outlet is
Yep, it's
for
huge.
influencers. Yeah. But and like hats off to them for being crafty and figuring out a way to make ends meet. So
Correct.
that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Isn't it weird, right? I mean, you would think like our, our parents' age, or not even somewhere between our generation, our parents, where you would have one job for 50 years and
Yes, and
then
that's not
retire.
what's happening now. They're not doing that. And here's another thing that I had noticed. I was a facility manager for quite some time on Fort Carson, and we did housing for them. And we would go into these houses, and these are young kids that just got into the military, and they weren't making a home. They had like a bed on the floor upstairs, and maybe a coffee pot in the refrigerator and a computer. And these people were not getting like living room sets and dining room sets, and they were not furnishing a home. And I found that to be after one after another, unless they had children, then they got some stuff for that. But they're not making a home. They are going with bare minimum. They're not wasting their money on things we waste. I mean, I furnish my home, right? I get beautiful stuff to put in it, and they just were not.
That's a great point. I work with a lot of antique dealers, and they've said it's been about 20 years now where younger people don't care about furniture. Like, why? They don't care that something's 80 years old. They can get something cheap and easy on IKEA and give it to someone else after, or leave it, or
Or throw it away.
yeah, it's unbelievable. So
True. They'll go to a thrift shop faster than anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the thrift shops are killing it right now.
Yeah,
We have
they
one-
really are.
Yeah, we have a really cool, great one here where it's the food pantry. Also has they've created a little for-profit subsidiary, and it's called Second Glance, and it's a big thrift store, and it's like the top retailing store in the area, like by a mile, because I mean everyone goes. They're getting great products, and it could be name brand stuff, high end stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
They get it, they're cheap. They make 100% of whatever they're selling it for. Everybody wins. So, and there's just a line out there every single day. It's weird.
Yeah.
I dig how people innovate though. When you're in a corner, like the human resiliency element's pretty cool, especially with the young people. How they're just savvy.
They are. They really are. They're not wasting their time, and they're not getting married like they used to either. And that was the thing is they're not paying for marriages. They're not paying. They're like going down to the core. We're like, I'm not going to spend $300 on a dress. I am literally I'm going to bypass the financial. And then if they do get married, most of them are not. So they're just not spending the money like we used to.
Yeah, you want to hear something cool? So my Ukrainian friend, she owns an atelier, like a bridal shop. And she is in Salem, Massachusetts, right? Everyone knows about Salem, the home of the witches. And she said that people have gone from like the fancy white floral gowns, really ornate, to simple and black, especially in Salem. And that is by a mile the hottest thing. It's less expensive. You can do more with it. So anyway, it's just weird seeing. It's just weird seeing all this confluence of different societal needs and how people sort of navigate their way or figure their way out through things. So
yeah, the young people are just they're not into property and prestige like we were. We were taught that, like, this is what you did. This is how you present your home. Immaculate, beautiful, lots of, you know what I mean? But they're not being taught that, or they don't accept it, I guess. I don't know if they're being taught, because mine were taught, and they don't want it.
Right. And I guess it's almost like what happened to upward mobility, where you knew that you would probably live better than your parents. And that's just not the way it is anymore. I don't know if it exists anymore, So interesting. Okay. Well, thanks for those questions. Let's move on to this one from Mars. Mars asks, Sheila, did Kellyanne Conway know about hush payments to Stormy Daniels?
Oh my gosh.
Yep, changing the channel here.
Yeah. Did she know? I've got to throw some cards on that one. My first initial thought, literally right off the bat, was she knew about it through rumor, but not direct, and that's how she got away with going, I didn't know nothing. But that was my first initial thought. she knew about it through rumor. I mean, they were the most gossipy people I've ever seen in my life up there between the Republicans. Nothing was really a secret. But let's see. Let's see what Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne Conway is now divorced. Apprenticeship, mastery of her skills. Yeah, fast thinking. And she did it for money. So yeah. So she, with her skills, yeah, she could get away with it. So she was in the works of everything. So this card right here talks about how she was back in the works and in the backs of screens, and she heard things, she knew the rumors and stuff like that. This right here is the ambition. You know, she's silver-tongued. She knew how to get away with it and lie, and she did it all for money. But I absolutely do think that she knew.
Alternative facts. One of the all-time great phrases. Do you see any legal consequences for her?
No, I do not. I can answer that one right off the bat. I do not. She and a lot of people like her, no legal. I mean, she lost her husband, she lost her family, she lost a lot. So, you know, she's not without consequences.
There you have it. Okay, thanks for the question. We have this one from Froxy Roxy, who asks, Sheila, will there be any resolution to the rogue states making their own laws regardless of federal laws?
Yes. And the reason why they're going to do that is because that's exactly how Roe versus Wade was overturned. The more absurd rules and regulations and laws that they make in each state, somebody's going to push the needle on that, and they're expecting that. So they want that to go into this court, and then they're going to go up to this court, and they're going to go up to this court, and then it's going to get to the Supreme Court, and that's when things are going to get overturned. We're like, no, we're going to just place that right back into the state, and the state gets to decide. And that's how they did Roe versus Wade. So yes, that's why there's so many absurd and ridiculous, and they're pushing at the far limits of this, is because that's what they want. And the more the Supreme Court, because they're, you know, it's a Republican Supreme Court, they want the states to choose, and then they get to choose. Then they get to choose their own laws. They can literally go back to being racist. They can go back to the Jim Crow. And it's the more they push back to the state gets to dominate all the rules and regulations in there.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
There you have it, Roxy.
That's the purpose.
Yeah. Thank you. And thanks for the question, Roxy. Let's see. How about this one from Eileen? Sheila, if McCarthy is forced out soon, will the far-right members of the House lose some of their hold on the committees?
You know who they're going to put in, who they want to, who's it? Is it Biggs? You know, McCarthy is going to disappoint them. And I did a remote review. He's going to disappoint them. He cannot hold up to some of his promises, like the debt ceiling. He just cannot hold up to that promise. And they are going to get really upset with him. But I don't know if they're actually going to okay, so this is the scene I'm seeing. I'm just going to tell you what I see. You know the musical chairs? And they all sit down and Kevin McCarthy falls off. So I see that musical chairs, and then they take another one, like I got the Ace of Swords, or they just start slicing on him. They're going to start slicing on him. So they're going to turn, and it's going to turn ugly. And I see him falling out. And then they do another one where they take another chair, and then the next one falls out. And they continue on. And it's like I don't know if this is going to be actual, like he falls out and he loses his job, and then the next one they did the same thing. It's just that they have that kind of instability in their caucus, where nobody is in charge, nobody has any authority. So there's that. Take that whatever you will.
Yeah, there you have it.
They're going to start slicing on him.
Look out, McCarthy, coming at you.
I'm here for it, and I'm gonna get my popcorn ready.
The vultures are circling.
Woo! I mean, I'm gonna have that book. Remember that book that I don't know, why can't I never remember her name? She's from California. Anyways, let's move on because Sheila's memory is shot apparently.
All right, folks, we want to thank Catherine Rodier and Brown Bunny Baker for for the to walking by the tip jar tonight. So thank you for that, ladies. We appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Donate if you can to help him out. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks for that question, Eileen. The next one comes from let's see, HHW. This is like a license plate here. HHWJ369. That has got to be someone's license plate. Sheila, your feelings on US Mexico relations?
US Mexico relations.
Mm.
I feel that Biden had a good start with that. There is something brewing with that because I've done a remote view on the border. There she is.
Oh, there we go.
There's my baby. A remote view on the border. And what the Mexican doesn't want is the United States to stop their people from coming in, but they have I'm seeing something. That's the reason why I'm muddling through here.
That's fine.
What I am seeing is each one, like the United States and the Mexico, they're finally lining up on each side and they're walking together. So that the scene that I'm seeing is they're walking together, meaning that they're starting to agree on a lot more things than what they have previously. Like they're getting on the same page. They're walking together. They're seeing things together. So that would make me think with the question that they do start lining up and agreeing to a lot more than what we thought. So this fentanyl thing, it's like they said that's 86% more of white people, Americans. I don't know if they're white. I shouldn't have said that, but Americans that are coming across the borders with that fentanyl. Now, wouldn't it be just something if they made it that way? Like it's another political stunt. What if they're doing it on purpose? That's been my thought and my feeling. There's no proof to that. But what if they are because the Republicans, they focus on it so much that the Republicans are really good at creating the problem so that they can talk about the problem. And that's what it feels to me. Like they know it, like the Mexican knows it, America knows it. Like this is some other entity and they're creating the problem so that they can talk about the problem. So do with whatever that is. Right. It may not have made any sense, but there you have it.
No, make a platform point, right? You can't put anything past anybody these days.
Yep.
So interesting. Okay, thanks, HH, for that. Next question here. Will DeSantis have major legal troubles soon? And what will it be about?
Yeah, I saw in a remote view that Florida turns on him. He goes too far. So, and I'm going to do another card pull on that as well.
Okay. That
Florida, he goes way too far and they start revolting on him. Not that, I don't know how much farther he could go because he's pretty much in the gutter as it is, but I do see it. I do see that he goes too far and that the people start revolting on him. Death, and literally the first card up, and the end of him. The end, they are going to end the mortality. They're going to be fighting within, fighting him. The King of Cups, a democratic solution has to, they go so far as to possibly turn to a Democratic solution. I don't see them ever like voting for a Democrat because they're so out there, but they have, and it's going to be against the wealthy. This could be against Disney. They're going to have to start juggling their finances. They're going to have to start juggling in that state. And this is the end result to them. They're going to worry, constant worry and frustration. He's going to bring upon his own people. I have a feeling this is going to have to do with Disney. And they're going to be financially broke due to all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, Disney doesn't mess around either. I used to work
No.
out there.
They have power behind them, and they're not going to announce it.
Yeah.
He's gonna feel the sting, the whole state. Nobody wants to go to Florida if they don't have Disney, because the red tide. He's not doing a dang thing about the red tide. The beaches are worthless at this point in time because of the red tide and things of that nature. And there's flooding, there's damage, there's hurricane. You know what I mean? Florida is only if Disney goes down. What do you got, Florida? What do you got?
Yeah, it's trouble, and it's not going to get better anytime soon,
No.
isn't it? Yeah, unbelievable. So, okay, thanks for that. Here's the next question. Sheila, will the next major crisis in the U.S. be man-made or one caused by nature?
Oh, that's a good one. I've always felt nature. I've always felt that there's going to be, I mean, there is the earthquake in California. I mean, it even sounds crazy for me to say it out loud because California is known for earthquakes and stuff like that. But I have seen the tension through a remote view of the plates in California, like the big guy, right? And we also have stronger tornadoes. And I also see tornadoes going in places where normally they don't go. Like they have the tornado alley. And then outside of this tornado alley is kind of where they're going to start showing up more and more. So we're going to have that kind of a thing. And I mean, look, we had tornadoes in December.
Yeah.
And in January, see, it's already starting. So I do think that the crisis is going to be weather related. We have some severe damage to our planet right now, and our planet is going to live through it. We may not. Mother Nature is going to get rid of her parasites, is what we always say.
It always brings me back to the George Carlin line that the Earth is just going to shake humanity off like a bad case of fleas.
Exactly. And then, get rid of it so that she can heal. And if she has to go severe, she will. And that's unfortunate. And that's reality. But I hope that we get a handle on things.
Yeah, you touched upon a couple interesting points that definitely struck home. One, tornadoes, definitely. We've seen tornadoes touch down in eastern Massachusetts, which is crazy. Being that close to cooler ocean water, where something like that never happens, and that's happened. And there's two things that I've noticed, especially in the last generation or so, the big weather shifts here, flooding and wind. It's not necessarily a bad winter or a crazy summer or dry, like those things come and go. But the wind is just it's sustained now. It's a different story. And the flood plains and flood zones are shifting at a really incredible fast rate.
Very true. Even here in Colorado, the winds, we had maybe 6 or 7 years ago, maybe longer, but we had winds here that were past hurricane. They were like 90 to 100 mile an hour wind, ripped off roofs, tore down fences, everything. It was unbelievable. And that was the first time ever on record, ever, that the winds have gotten that high. And I knew at that moment, like, things are changing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different climate.
We had golf ball, like literally golf ball size, not even golf, baseball size hail twice in 1 year that damaged cars and just blew the state up. It was unbelievable what was happening.
It's true. Strange times. All right. Thanks for the question. How about this one from Jamie Johnson? What will the impact of the Willow project be to Alaska? Will it be safe?
Yeah, I have I was just watching, I was just actually reading up on that today. And every time I look at this area, the area is way smaller than what they're presenting it. It's like this tiny place right here, but when you look at it and through the news and stuff like that, and they make it really big. So it's really a small place. They wanted 5, and Biden said, no, you only get 3. He had to make an economic decision. We're not done with oil by a long shot. That's the honest to God's truth. And he had to bring some oil back here, because if not, the prices of our gas was just going to go skyrocketing because everybody else was in control of it. I mean, I see all this economic stuff. Do I want them to drill in Alaska? No. No, I wish we could just literally move away from that, but logically we just cannot. I'm glad that he didn't allow all 5, and he just allowed 3 of them. And they are in the upper peninsula of Alaska. Alaska wilderness is vast and huge, and it does have an impact on the planet. It goes both ways. Do I think it's going to be as big as they say? No, I think they're exaggerating. Do I think it's going to have an impact? Yes, I do. Do I think that Biden had a hard decision? I do. I wouldn't want to be president when you have to make those type of decisions where you have to bring oil back to your own country so that we don't blow up in gas that we still use, because we can't get everybody out of not using a gas vehicle, right? And the prices of an electric, and we're just not there yet. We have 50, 60, 70, probably another 100 years before we get out of this.
That's the reliance on the combustible engine blows my mind in 2023.
It does. Yeah. It really, really does. I don't like it just as much as the next person, but I definitely see. I mean, here's another thing. Alaska is incredibly poor. Alaska is incredibly poor, and they're going to bring, jobs, long-term jobs, for some of those people there that ordinarily up in that peninsula would never. They have to rely on poor, like the assistance from the country. So there's that boost as well for them. They already have a pipeline. I mean, there's already a pipeline that goes to another country. That oil that comes from Alaska right now goes through here, goes to the middle of our country, out the southern part, and it goes to other countries. It doesn't even stay with us. So I always had it. I'm like, why don't they just switch that? But that's a tough one. Mm-hmm. I don't like it, but I do understand it. There you have it.
It is what it is. There you have it.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, Sheila. Next question comes from PC. Sheila, was the train accident in East Palestine, Ohio, deliberately caused?
No, I do not believe that it was deliberately caused. I read up a lot about that too, but I also did a reading on that, and it was not deliberately it was not deliberately caused. It was recklessly inevitable. That's what happened. When you deregulate, I remember that scene with Trump where he had a stack of regulations here and a whole stack of regulations that other presidents had put on the all of this, and he was so proud of himself that this is going to come down to this stack, and it's even going to be lower. He was going to eliminate any regulations that trains needed. And he was so proud of himself for deregulating. And the people of that, they say the company was not at fault, whatever. They didn't have enough people to maintain the tracks. They don't have enough people to maintain the trains, maintenance. Maybe they had a crew of 2, fine, if that's what your idea was. But the maintenance and the level of maintenance just went down to 0 because they didn't have enough people to do it. And so there you have it. I think it was an accident waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm. And not the last, right?
Nope. Well, no, I mean, these poor people, what was it, 3 or 4 after that?
Yeah.
That they've incurred, and they're like, well, it only happens every so often. Well, we have 4 within a month. What's going on, dude?
It's a pretty scary thought when you think that there are more accidents in train travel than air travel. That's
Yeah,
red flag, folks.
yeah. Go
Yikes.
with a company that maintains and has enough people to maintain that train for sure. And they just didn't. They had a whole bunch of layoffs and stuff like that. It was just evident
Hmm.
that it was inevitable, you know.
Yep.
Same with the bank thing. The Trump deregulated everything about the banks. Like, he was so proud of himself of deregulating all this stuff around the banks and taking away their firewalls and their all of the restraints that could make that happen. And it happens. So there you go. My rant is over. Go on.
That's all right. That's what we're here for. All right. Next up is Alice Rodriguez. Question for Sheila. Will the Biden administration put a stop to child labor?
That's another Roe v. Wade thing. So that's another thing. They put anything absurd. So somebody's going to fight that, and they're going to fight it, 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 and they're going to get it up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court's no, I think the state has an obligation to make their own rules. We're going to push that back to the state, and the state's going to be able to do whatever they want again. That's a Roe v. Wade thing again. Is Biden going to be able to do that? Only if the Supreme Court holds up the regulation and makes it nationwide. That's the only way he can do that. So that's another Roe v. Wade little. It's all these are just little itty bitty tactics that they're doing, trying to create. And when Margarine, the Klan mom, she said that we wanted to succeed from the Union or succeed from the United States. She wasn't joking. They really want to be in North Korea. They really, really want to be.
Insane. So, okay, thanks for that. All right, folks, it is the top of the hour here. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, where Sheila is. Ringing the bell here because we want to thank Eileen and Tish for helping the channel out. We appreciate it. So she is Celtic Tarot Sheila. You can follow her on her channel. She's on all the time, and she's super gracious tonight, spending some time with us here at Bridge Cape Anna. I'm Corey, coming at you from Gloucester, Massachusetts, home of the Gordon's Fish Stick, if you like your seafood. We are America's oldest seaport. So, and loving this one-on-one with Sheila tonight as we get to know her better and get some great readings. If you have a question, drop that in the live chat. I have some others here we're going to move on to now. Sheila, we have this one from Benjamin Padilla. Senator McConnell, is his health going southwards? He's heading to rehab now, but will he serve? Is his health deteriorating? Will he be able to serve the rest of his term?
Yeah, I was curious about that one as well, and I was checking in on Mr. McConnell, and there's something more going on. I think he drinks. I think he's drinking more and more with all of this, and that is what is causing more of his health problems. And I do not see him finishing out his term. And I'm kind of curious. He was heading up to wherever he goes to make sure that the Democratic governor of Kentucky, luck have it, if he can still choose the next senator, because if Connell leaves and doesn't finish his term. I wonder if he manipulated that, for one. But if not, I don't see him finishing it out. And I do see a Democratic senator being sent to the Senate because we have a Democratic governor of that state who gets to pick the next senator. So I do see all that happening. It sounds wonderful and great. Let me see what the cards say.
Okay.
I don't do like somebody's, I'm not looking for his demise. I just want to see if he's going to finish out his sentence. a little
We'll let
Herodian.
that slide. Yep.
So finish out his sentence,
Yeah.
Senator. Oh, that's funny. Thank you, Lucretia.
Lucretia, yes, thanks,
Okay,
Lucretia. We'll do the cowbell for you, Lucretia. I have so many bells, Sheila. It's ridiculous.
there you go. Wealth, finance, contribution. Hmm. Well, nothing here says. I mean, I do have this one right here, which is apathy and not wanting to do anymore. I also have the King of Wands, which is powerful, which that would be him. And then we had hidden enemies, hidden danger. I think he's sicker than he's saying because we have the moon. He's sicker than he's saying. Of course, stingy comes up. Whoa, gosh, what? Kevin or McConnell stingy? No, but I do have the Chariot, which means moving forward, moving out of there. Let me see what my other cards have to say about this.
Okay.
Ace of Pentacles. He's one wealthy man. I know that. Three of Cups. Charity. Does he get put in a home? So I keep on seeing charity around him, like help. Like moving out, moving away. But I see charity around him. He might have to move to a medical facility. But that would not eliminate him from his job, to be honest. That he would have to make a decision on that. So that's probably why his is saying that he may have to make a decision on that. If he gets put into a medical facility, he can still keep his Senate spot, but he won't be voting. So maybe that in itself, I don't know. There was no definitive answer on that. Sorry, people.
Joan Baker, thank you so much for great show tonight. She says we agree. Yeah,
thank you.
We're super grateful that Sheila's with us tonight. Marvy Marie, you've got a great Corey. You've got a great pair of bells. LOL. Yeah, I agree too. People keep sending them to me. So you know what the problem is? We would always ring these bells, but then because of audio suppression on the microphones and through Zoom, no one could ever hear the bells ring. And so I figured out it's a setting in Zoom actually, and now all you're going to hear are bells. So I have like 15 bells that people have sent me, like try this bell,
gosh, try this one, try this
yeah.
one. Yeah, I couldn't. You guys couldn't hear mine.
Nope.
And that sucker is loud. It's like a cowbell.
I know. I'll show you the setting after.
Where's the setting? And then you can hear it. Where's the setting at?
Okay, so you go into preferences and then audio, right?
Okay, so video settings, and then I go to audio. Yep.
All right, and then scroll down to where is audio profile, and you probably have Zoom optimized audio.
I have advanced controls. What is it? What does it say?
It's so there's in darker, like under where you test your
optimize audio, and I have it on auto. So undo that?
No, click original sound for musicians instead. And then click and then you probably have echo cancellation clicked, and unclick that.
I don't have that. Okay, let's see. We'll see if that works.
Yeah. So instead of Zoom optimized audio, no, you want original sound for musicians, and then like high fidelity music mode is clicked, and echo cancellation is not clicked.
Okay, so I have original sounds for musicians.
Yeah.
And I don't have echo at all. So what else?
So yeah, so high fidelity music mode should be clicked, and stereo audio should be clicked.
High fidelity.
Do you have that? So where echo cancellation is,
I see. High fidelity. Okay, so I have high fidelity. Clicked.
And stereo audio is below echo cancellation. Is that clicked?
And stereo audio. Okay, that's clicked now.
Okay, so no, nothing. And I wonder honestly if you have to like actually get out of this chat and come back in to try it, but
you shouldn't do that.
And reset. Yeah, I know. Barely. It's faint, but it's barely.
But
And
you can hear it.
yeah. So also, so do you also like automatically adjust microphone
I
volume?
do not.
Click that.
Okay, so let's see. I don't, poor people are like, what are
I
we
know.
doing?
I know.
I don't have automatic. I had the volume all the way, input all the way up.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh, yeah. Because you're not. What microphone do you use? Just the what's built into your.
No, I use this one.
Oh, so my input volume is all the way down, and I go through my microphone and I see the input level
Oh, so maybe I
toggle.
should turn that all the way down?
You can try. Let's
My
see if I can.
input level? Really?
It's the input volume because you're just going through your mic. Nope.
Yeah, that's the reason why I have that up. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh well.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah.
And then in the next hour of the show, what else, folks? What else can we work on while you're here? So,
Okay, Zoom class is over.
yeah, yeah. So honestly, so for years I couldn't figure it out, and like last week I finally did. So
Gotcha.
anyway, there's that. So that works. That's for Anna Macedo. Okay, thank you, Anna. All right, let's get back to some questions. So yeah, folks, if you have, yeah, we do need technical support out there. So
Derailed.
we're accepting applications now, mid-show. All right. How about this one from, well, Joan Baker. Joan's with us tonight. Sheila, will Congress straighten out the banking deregulation that was dismantled in 2018?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw some cards on that. Ask Aiden. Yeah. Do you know who Aiden is? Aiden is brilliant with all of this stuff.
Actually, Sheila, the first I heard of Aiden was from you.
Oh,
Yeah.
you gotta have him on. He's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
We've been doing this fun thing, Sheila, where on like usually Tuesday evenings, I just go on and field questions for the guests that week. But I've been inviting just people from the live chat to come on and join me.
Oh, good. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so that can be fun to do sometime.
Yeah, they're gonna definitely break through the ace of. I got the ace of swords. This is like the truth, the breakthrough, the cutting through the crap, getting down to business. And I got the wheel of fortune, which is increase the abundance and the security. And then I have the two of pentacles, which is multiple priorities. So yeah, they're gonna do something about it.
Mm.
Yeah, they're gonna have, and because I mean, hard work. They're going to have hard work and steady progress about it. So yeah, I do see them putting it to rest as usual. But they do have to deal with the devil first.
Mm.
It's true. They have to deal with the devil. The entity or the person or whatever, they did it.
Interesting.
So
Okay, great answer. Thanks for the question, Joan. We appreciate that. Next, this is from Old Guy. Old Guy is a longtime follower here. He's out in Colorado as well.
we have a lot of old guys here.
We do. Old Guy asks, Sheila, will gold close above $2,000 anytime soon?
Will gold close around $2,000?
Yeah. You know, you always hear in weird financial times, people always go back to gold and silver, right?
They do. A lot of people love gold around here.
Mm. Oh yeah,
I love it too. I just got a panic feeling around gold, so that doesn't sound good. I mean, I looked at the gold. I try to see I see gold in my vision, but it's panicky. Like, so I don't know what that is. I don't know if that means it's going to tank or get worse, or if it's going to be needed more. Sometimes gold will go up because it's needed. And like a panic, like a deficit of it. And so they want more gold. So that's what kind of more like what it feels. So I'm thinking maybe up, because I feel a panic around it. Like, oh, we're not going to have enough to do this or this or this or this. You know what? The vision I just saw, and that doesn't mean that we're going to go into war, but I just saw the vision of the gold and the panic and not having enough, and everybody having to melt down their old gold that they have in their house. Now, I don't think that we're going through a war, but that was a weird vision. Maybe somebody understands that.
It's interesting to see the light go off in you when a vision comes through you. Like you can literally see, like, oh no, wait, this is coming in now.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a deficit in gold, which would make the gold go higher. So.
All right, there you have it. Thank you, old guy. Appreciate it, and your viewership as always. All right, how about this one from Mary Hubble, Sheila? Sheila, did King Charles and Camilla have an illegitimate son that they put up for adoption when they were teens?
Wow, I've heard this rumor.
You have?
I've heard this rumor before.
Mary Hubble, starting trouble.
I don't think Camilla could have. Well, she could have. I mean, the royals hit a whole bunch of pregnancies all the time.
This is true. Yeah, there's some weird shit going on with
that. Yeah. Well, let's see if they did. I've heard this rumor before. I wonder if this son can come. I mean, this child is an incredibly rich child if he comes forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have the queen and the emperor and the burden. Now, if I was reading this blind, I would say absolutely they have it because they have a burden. I literally got the queen and the king, the empress and the queen and the burden.
Look at that.
Okay, the cards say yeah. And abundance and a luxury. This child is in abundance and a luxury. I said that there's a really rich child. Oh, and love reunion. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness, people.
There are 5 reality shows in your answer so far.
Okay, well, I would say the card said yes.
People are blown away in the chat. Yeah, there you have it. Yeah. You never know, folks.
You never know.
Good stuff. So there you go, Mary. You hit a home run tonight. How about that? Good for you. Okay, next question comes from Darlin42. Hi, Darlin. She's always with us. I have a question for Sheila. What is Sarah Huckabee Sanders' future?
Hopefully cleaning toilets. Oh, that woman. Her smile alone. I mean, she doesn't know how to smile. That's her.
Sheila is now in mid-show form, I believe.
Yes. She has this look of him.
Yeah.
It's just so weird to look at her.
Yep, this is true.
Oh, I have no passion for the Republicans like these anymore. I don't know where it went, but it's just not there anymore. But let's see. I can't believe she made it in. I really, really can't believe she made it in. And then, of course, all happy about making sure that children can go back into the fields at 3 to work. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's a whole different kind of bell ringing right there.
Oh, telling you. She has some legal problems that she made it. Oh, wow, this is really interesting. So expansion of who she is, but she has to see justice, and these are self-imposed problems that she is going to create for herself. Well, I didn't realize she would be under any investigation, but apparently she is, because she has some self-imposed problems that she created, and she did. And this could be she testifies against somebody and she gets some self-imposed problems. It's in her testimony.
Ooh.
That she says or does something, and she goes into fear. The courage of testifying and the curiosity of the investigation, that's where it is. She testifies against something and gets her into some problems, and the Republican and her and everybody goes through some heartbreak because of it.
Hmm.
Well, well, well.
Yeah, we are uncovering some stones tonight here.
Yeah. I couldn't be happier for her.
Yeah, the show moves on. Thanks for that. Oh,
I
Dawn did have a
love
follow-up
this.
question,
Yeah.
Sheila.
I love this for her.
Dawn, she said, "Will Sheila come back?" I guess that means to this channel, Sheila. That's from
Yes.
Darlin as well.
Yes, yes.
There you have it. She agrees with you too. So very cool. Okay, next question comes from Canetto33. Sheila, what will NATO's strength be like in 5 to 10 years? Will today's NATO unify or fade?
No, it's going to unify. And here's something else that I see that NATO actually has to do something about a situation. And it always feels like Taiwan to me. Now, China is like it going in. I did a reading on this, and then my reading said that China goes in like a Trojan horse. And NATO has to address this. And just today, one of our drones was shot down and terrorized by Russians, and they're addressing that as well. So whatever it is, it's going to be stronger, and if they're going to strike, and they're going to have to strike hard. And it's not, I never see a prolong. It's almost like a scorpion. You've woken up the scorpion, and it shuts it down. So stronger.
Okay, thanks, so. Canelo. And amazingly, Sheila, our next question was from Gloria Bugrin, who asked, "What about Russia hitting our drone down today?" Sheila's thoughts, yeah.
Yeah, that was something that I paid attention to as well. And they're going to the military is literally started an investigation. They always say start an investigation, meaning that they're looking into it and seeing what happened. And the video, I guess, I haven't seen it myself, but the video itself, whatever it was running in front of it and like terrorizing it or something, like they were trying to block it. And then so it was done purposely. It wasn't done by accident. So they have to address that. And let me see what my cards say as to how they're going to handle it. Let's see what they say. I get really, my breath gets really shallow when I'm thinking about this. I'm not quite sure why that is. Shallow usually means panic, usually means anxiety. So I could be feeling the Russians going into panic mode. Ooh, I just felt like this was like somebody messing around. Like they're going to say, "I'm sorry, he didn't act as a Russian, or he didn't act like that." A team. They're going to get together as a team. The world is paying attention. And the King of Swords, which would be Putin, they're there, and they're have to make some decisions around it. And for some reason, something gets walked away. The Ace of Pentacles, there's money, there's some serious money involved. The Ace of Swords comes down on them though. The truth, the Ace of Swords cutting through it. Yeah. There's the panic. There's the panic that I'm feeling. Like they have to act with revenge. Like the United States it's not revenge like in a bad way. I'm like, the United States has to take punishment. They have to do punishment for this not to come. That was a weird energy. And I'm still feeling that deep, like they're really scared.
Interesting.
All right. Yeah, let's move on from that. That's weird.
Balloons, drones, you name it, folks.
Yeah.
It's weird in the skies. So, a little sidebar here. Tish L asks, Corey, is it difficult to remain politically neutral-ish for your viewers? Not really. I mean, to me, it's like Sheila's on the show. She runs the show. I'm not editing questions at all. Um, she answers them the way she sees fit. It's actually it's easy for me. Sometimes I want to say more than I do for some topics, but no, Sheila's the guest on the channel, and she's running the gig tonight, so it is what it is. So.
Well,
Yeah.
here's that political question. Can you please stay political neutral? And I always tell them this is if my cards weren't telling me exactly who the Republicans and who Trump was every single time I threw on them, I would be sitting here with a different thought process. But I know who they are. I've seen it. I played it. The cards have told me. So I have an opinion. I have an opinion that I am always going to be on the side of right. And I am not powerful enough to guide spirit to tell me anything. That's another myth in this community. If she's holding her mouth right, or if her eyes are this way and you're thinking this, maybe the cards will come out differently. And I'm like, I'm not that powerful. Spirit will give me an answer, and my job is to interpret it. Done.
Right. Yep. And then, and so for what it's worth, folks, in case if you are new to the channel, while I'm talking to Sheila, I'm looking directly at Sheila now through Zoom. So here's where my eyes are. But here is how I can actually look at you and Sheila at the same time. Here is the live chat. And here are the questions. So sometimes it looks like I'm sort of scattered or maybe not paying attention or not totally locked in. It's not the case. We're just trying to juggle things. It's a good point right now to thank our moderators. Thankful Mom is in there, Annalie Finch, Christian Montone for helping things in the chat. It's an awesome live chat, by the way. I try to soak in as much as I can of that, but I only get about maybe 2/3 of it because I'm trying to pay attention to Sheila as well. So anyway.
Well, this is a GG by the sea.
Yeah, what?
She says, Sheila, I watched the Pentagon press conference today, and intuitively I felt Russia panicked that our drone was watching Russia's activity below. They were in international space. Russia was breaking the rules. Yeah. Intern. Yeah. That's why I was feeling panicked. They're panicked.
Good. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So folks, trust me, I see all the comments on the chat tonight. Everyone's being very sweet, very receptive, very understanding. It's cool. I love the community here. So it's been one of the great joys about watching this channel grow and getting to know people like Sheila and grow with them as well. So thanks for being with us tonight. And thanks for your questions. More coming now, including this one from Funny Puppy. Funny Puppy. Sheila, how will 45 react to his kids throwing him under the bus?
He's either going to be mad about it or proud of them.
Well, that's true, right? Apple doesn't fall far.
He could be very proud of them. Like, oh, I taught them well.
Yeah, like I would have done that to me. Yeah.
As well as I do, he's not a good father at all. So I'm pretty sure behind the scenes, he's given them the treatment he would have given them as a child, the cold treatment or the berating or whatever it is of that. But, those are his children. There's something really nasty about him, but there's also something endearing that he does hold his children like at the end of the day, those are his children, right? I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay, Sheila, I have to hand you the next question. Then I have to let my 180-pound Mastiff out for a second. So just stretch if you have to stretch. Okay, this one is from Wilk. Wilk Zook is with us. Wilk, Sheila, was the Havana syndrome, did Trump have any part in the Havana syndrome?
I haven't heard of this. What is the Havana syndrome?
This was everyone in, remember in Cuba, the diplomats and whatnot, they had the ringing in their ears. They were having all these issues, health issues.
Wow.
Because of different pitch. It was like audio violence, right? I believe this is what Wilk is talking about. In the not too distant past, this happened.
Wow. Well, go let him out. I'll figure this out. I'm going to do a reading.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I haven't heard of this. So that's something I would have to look into, but I'm going to just do a cold reading on it and see what's going on. The Havana syndrome. I never heard about this. Yes, and please hit the like button. Donate if you can so that we can keep this going. It definitely helps. Sound waves. They were doing sound waves. Interesting. And you think maybe Trump was involved or had anything to do with it? I feel no connection. I feel no but the conflict magic they were trying to throw. Future planning. So this Havana situation was a future planning progress, making a discovery, like test, like they were doing tests on these people, and the selfishness of their tests. They were just, they don't care about the humans. They just wanted to figure out if this would work. The movement, fast movement. They did it. They were readjusting the sound waves. I guess they were adjusting the level or this, which one would be effective. And they were throwing their skills and their magician on them. So that tells me a little bit. It caused a lot of anguish and pain. It also, the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a lot of like strong courage, independent. So that tells me that they were independently working. So this is awful. These were awful tensions. The Ace of is all about money, the Empress, the betrayal that they were doing, that they were doing. Hard at work. It was an apprentice. It was just literally a big, huge guinea pig chest. They were adjusting the sounds to find out which one would work. I knew nothing about this, but it says independent. So they were independently doing it. So.
Yeah, and that was the question where I said spy activities. Who was they? Russia. Oh no.
So the question is, but was the testing against the U.S. Embassy?
Right. It was, I believe it was diplomats who were affected first and foremost, I thought, when this.
I don't know enough about the story, so I can't give a thought process on this, but my impression is it was literally testing the waves, what would work, and they were whoever they were doing it with or doing it to, they were guinea pigs to them. It was a test, and it was like, how they do sublime messaging. I'm not sure I believe in all of that just yet, but that's kind of what it feels like. So I don't have any more information on that. Sorry.
That's all right. Let me.
Doggies tonight. The doggies are interested.
Let's go to none here for a second. All right, we're just at a little bit of a Bubba break. So this is Bub. You want to come back here? Come back here. Come back here, Bubs. Way back here.
I love mastiffs, but they're just too big for me.
Yeah, he's about 180 pounds right now.
Does he do the slobber?
Oh, yeah. It's not Turner and Hooch bad, but it's pretty bad. But yeah. So that's Bub. And I hope Bub doesn't see that dog. He's gonna.
Do you see it? Oh, well, they probably don't recognize things on the thing.
Yeah. So Bub wants his last SNACK of the night.
Like Daddy has to spell it.
Yeah, I do. So we'll ask the people in chat tonight which they want us. What should Bubba snack on tonight? So let's see. We'll do a quick poll. What? All right, hold on, Bubs, cut it out. Do you want a question in the meantime, Sheila, while I sort this out?
Sure.
Okay. This is from Ann Steers, and Ann asks, Sheila, does doing meditation daily improve happiness?
It can for some. I do a meditation differently, where I do what we call a waking meditation. I can literally sit back and I am still doing things and all of that, but I'm in meditation where I'm in the subconscious, or like in the background is the only way I can describe it, that I'm doing meditation. It creates happiness for me. Meditation for a lot of people is not the going quiet. It is literally talking to spirit and getting answers and understanding things. Like I go in with questions constantly. What does this mean? What is it that? Where am I just, all of those? And I have a wonderful dialogue, which is a higher vibrating dialogue. So yeah, it can absolutely create, I'm going for sweet potato.
Are you- I can't remember. The sweet potato might have won last night, but yeah, people love this part of the show. Bubba, especially.
Yeah. So it's something that you would have to create how you want to do it. A lot of people do meditation when they're gardening. A lot of people do meditation while they're exercising. A lot of people do meditation while they're hiking. So it's not meditation can be done anytime, anywhere, any place, any type of way. As long as you're connecting with spirit, you're always going to feel that higher vibration healing energy. It'll make you feel good.
You have it. Thanks for the question. Next. So, Sheila, are you into astrology at all? Do you work with that at all? Or?
Well, I know the signs. I know all of that, but to get deeper, like the planets and all that, no, it's like Greek to me.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll skip that one. All
Yeah.
right, here's another question. Sheila, will China actually try a move that will cause trouble for the U.S. In the South China Sea?
Is this Taiwan? Because I think, yeah, it's Taiwan. Yes, they're going to. I think we talked about that earlier. A little bit about that. But yeah, I do. I think they're going in as a Trojan horse, meaning that they're going under the, the radar and trying to do something sneaky. Yeah.
Okay, there you have it. Okay, thanks for that. How about this one from Marianne? Sheila, will archaeologists find more Viking settlements on the east coast of North America? That's right.
Okay, so I just visually saw a whole bunch of woods and forests. So I don't know what that's about, but I just see that spot. Woods and forests. For some reason, I'm seeing mounds, like mounds. I don't know what the mounds are. So woods, forests, mounds. And these are the type of things, if I'm answering your question, these are the type of things either they're looking for or they're going to find related to the Vikings and that era. Yeah, that's all. Like woods and mounds. So does that make any sense to you?
Well, it's at least a yes, right? I mean, they usually find, I know with a lot of Native American settlements, there are always usually mounds there too, whether it's either burial or sacred spots where things are piled, gifts to gods are usually piled. That's how it is in our area, actually. And it's usually mounds, which is interesting.
Okay. Yes, I see a lot of mounds. Like these are pretty high up mounds. Like they're like mounds like that. Why are you sneezing?
Mounds are the Viking houses on the East Coast.
And here's the other one. I am doggy.
Oh, that's a big boy.
This is my panda.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Very cool. All right, moving on. We have all right, here we have another one on the Royals. I hope you're locked in on the Royals, Sheila.
All right.
I'm hearing from astrologers that Charles's date of May 6th for his coronation is not good. It's an eclipse and a full moon. Could that be problematic?
Well, he's having trouble finding anybody to entertain him that day. He's having struggles. Let's see what that day brings for him. So with Charles, and I don't know why I always get this with Charles, but I get Charles as, forgive me, people who love Charles. I'm not here to sway anybody's thing, but when I see Charles in the bathroom, like Camilla will go into the bathroom, spend her hour or whatever. Charles would go into the bathroom and spend 3 hours because he has like a total regiment or lack thereof or something, but he's like more primpier or preppier, like primps more. Or there's something to that where he's the one that's late for this, or he's the one that's late for that. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is related to the question. That's exactly what I saw. Private achievements. Ooh, these are all inverted. He gets this card. This card is not a good card for his day. This is like a betrayal, deception, getting away with something, acting strangely, or strategically, you know what I mean? So that's a really strange card to get on that day for him. Delusion. There's a lot of delusion. What is going on in that day? That's 2 betrayals and delusions. That is, and making decisions, but he does become king, so there's that. But there's a lot of decisions to be made. There's just going to be a lot of, like, another chaos card for him, juggling things. I just don't think these are really weird. Disappointment. There's going to be something really disappointing for him or for the people or something along, or maybe just the country is just really disappointed in him. So whatever that is, people over in Europe will understand that reading way more than I would.
Yeah, it's a bizarre life for sure.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Jamie, who asks, Sheila, will Biden expand the Supreme Court?
I've had this question many a times with that, and I have not gotten a yes yet. So let me see what the cards say. I've been waiting for that energy to come through. We need a more majority in the Senate in order for that to happen. Or is what I just heard. Like he wants a more of a majority in the Senate for that to happen, so that he's comfortable, because if he makes a move with a slim majority, then if it switches so easily, then they'll take it all away. Like something they can eliminate. I have Queen of Cups, and I have abundance and luxury and justice. That would say yes.
Right.
I literally got that. Queen of Cups was always represents Biden for me. Abundance and justice. So abundance and justice. If he has a chance, I think he would. Well, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for that, Jamie. Appreciate it. Let's see. How about this question from... Let's do this one for... Oh, okay. Mary asks, can you ask Celtic Sheila what her conclusions are of what happened to MH370?
Something else I don't know what they're talking about.
This is the flight, right, folks? Let me look up this really quickly. Yeah, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Malaysian Airlines had disappeared in 2014.
Yeah, that's
And
still
it was going to China.
It's still in the water.
Hmm.
So my vision with that plane is it's still in the water, but it's literally like in a trench of some sort because it's between rocks. It's swaying in the ocean, and the plane itself. I see it so clearly. It's like in between rocks, and if there was an underground mountain of some sort, there it's in that trench, like stuck in there.
Hmm.
So it's in the ocean. That's why it's disappeared.
So, Sheila, let me ask, do you get a lot of questions about like conspiracies?
Sometimes, and sometimes I do the conspiracy theory, and you know right off the bat they're kind of like no, you know what I mean.
Right.
They try a lot of conspiracy theorists want to see if even the checkmate their own people and see what a psychic says about it. So yeah.
Hmm. Well, we have one for you. Was there a conspiracy behind Princess Diana's death? And if so,
Oh
who engineered it?
no. And I've looked into that so many times, and I was a huge fan of Princess Diana. Let me tell you, that day was just devastating to me. And
Mm.
no, I do not feel like there was an engineering of that. It was pure accidental. This was the reason why a theory possibly hit to where it may have been, is that they weren't too overly sad that it happened. Right, that's the reason why I gave red flags, is like the children of course were devastated and all that, but it was almost like, oh, do you hear the chewing of my dog? I'm so sorry. But so that's what I thought, that possibly would have swayed people to think that she was possibly murdered, or there was somebody involved, or something happened, or something along that lines. But no, this was a drunken accident.
Mm. Okay, and there you have it. Next question. Can Sheila read on John Fetterman, please?
Mm, you mean his health and see how he's doing?
Hmm.
He's going to be fine, but he is experiencing, I think, in my first impressions when I heard that he's experiencing a medication levels that are either taking him or not making him feel better. And that was my first, when he went in, I heard about it. I'm like, well, he has medication problems. And then they said that it was depression. I'm like, well, if you don't have the right dose, the medications can make you feel depressed. But he's going to be fine. They're going to readjust everything, and he will be fine. In fact, I literally see him with his grown children. So yeah. So this was painful. It was painful for him because of the medication wasn't correct. And then he comes out with, charging the world again. Come out with everything he needs in another night. So he's going to be fine. Energy is going to be up. Inspiring, impulsive. He's going to have that mental clarity again. So they're just readjusting things.
There you go. Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Sheila, Carolyn Hertho, is asking about recent earthquakes in Colorado and if you're okay. Was
Yeah,
this
we're
near you at
okay.
all?
Yeah, there's a few. I haven't felt anything. I knew that it was like I think on the western slope or something like that,
Hmm.
or something along that lines. But I'm okay. It would be bizarre for us to have a major earthquake here, but I wouldn't put it past it. At this point in time, anything's possible. But yeah,
It's
I have
funny.
never ever felt an earthquake.
Really? Yeah, I felt so. I lived in LA for years, and so it was weird. I felt some earthquakes where there was just like a little bit of a rumble. I used to work on the sixth floor of a building right on Hollywood Boulevard. So you know where celebrities put their hands in cement at Grauman's Chinese Theater, right
Yeah.
across the street, sixth floor. And then we had one earthquake where everything just kind of swayed, but for like 40 seconds, just a very slight, but it wouldn't stop. That was weird. And I've been in earthquakes where it felt like a plane, like a small plane crashed into the building that you're in, and it's just really quick and violent. It's not a fun thing to be a part of.
Wow.
So yeah, that was for years in LA. I did that. Then we moved home. We never get earthquakes in Massachusetts. They might say there's little tremors here and there. Like the first month we moved back to Massachusetts, it was the first earthquake in 40 years or something. We're like, Meredith and I were sitting on the couch like, was that an earthquake? Yeah, crazy. But yeah,
Wow.
it's weird how. And so yeah, so you're not when near any sort of fault line or anything out in Colorado, right?
I'm not, no. I am
Interesting.
not, unless I have to, no, I don't think so. We would have been taught all that. For sure.
All right, Sheila, I don't know how you are for time. We have other questions yet, or we can always go to community cards to wrap things up. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think maybe one or two left.
Okay.
I'm feeling the toll.
Yeah, it happens. I hear you. Okay, how about this one? Will Governor Chris Sununu of New Hampshire be the 2024 Republican nominee?
What's her name?
Chris Sununu. That's a big. The Sununus have been in power in New Hampshire forever.
So you guys have a Democratic one right now?
Yeah, New Hampshire always sorts of leans either independent or they can go Republican now these days.
Well, let's see. Cups they stay Republican. Swords they may go Republican, Democratic. Cups Democrat, swords Republican.
Hmm.
Did you find out what Bubba's gonna eat tonight?
Yeah, it's sweet potato. I'll go grab one.
Whoever this person is not going to have a good time of it. I see love, which is always in the cult. I see delusion, very delusional, this person. There's some serious judgment against this guy or whoever he is. Incredible battle, uphill battle for him. He's very burdened. So I don't see an easy race in his race. So now let's see if we can go all the way to the end. No, I don't see that. Whoever this person is, he's not. Is it a he or a she? Because
Chris is a he.
A he, okay, because I keep on seeing a he, but it's an uphill battle. He's very delusional, borderline like crazy. So I don't know if he's whatever is wrong with him. Let's see. All the way to the end. Judgment is still with him. No, I don't think so. He gets put to rest. He gets put in his place. Heartbreak is also for this guy. He's going to try worry. So yeah, there's no cards here that says his partner, the partner that he is up against, gets the sun. So whoever is running against him is the winner.
There you have it, folks. Trump supporter, people are pointing out. I'm MAGA dude.
Well, those MAGA doodles.
Yeah. All right, folks, you voted for sweet potato tonight, so here is our sweet potato.
He just gets that whole?
Yeah, he likes it hard as a rock. He likes to sink his teeth in this stuff.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, yeah.
And he's eyeing it, man. He knows.
Easy, pup. You be a good boy tonight. There you go.
I have
He
never
takes it over to his lair. He's already busting that thing in.
Wow.
Yeah, he loves it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's on a raw diet, Sheila. Lots of carrots, potatoes, yeah, zucchini. He likes that too.
Wow.
So there we have it. So awesome. All right, why don't we wrap things up with some community cards until next time, or I guess we'll see how the rest of everyone's week is going to unfold. However you do this, Sheila, it's up to you. And so,
You mean just pull a card for everybody?
yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. And while Sheila's doing that, I have to thank Sheila for her time tonight. I mean, um, as I would love spending time with you. It's really cool. I'm looking forward to doing it again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
all like the new eyes, ears, and handles and participating in the live chat tonight too. That was great. And of course the lurkers and the wallflowers. We love you all.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And Maria, I did see you tipped the channel, so thank you, Maria, as always.
All right, I'm going to pull two moon cards. So the first moon card for the collective is a time to give rather than to take. So concentrate on what you can provide for someone you love, or your community, or even just your animals that are around you, your garden, whatever it is. See what you can give to produce a relationship with somebody. See what you can provide, see what you can do for them. And the other one is your dreams need a practical plan. I love this one. Your dreams need a practical plan. You can't dream of having a baby when you don't have a uterus. That's the theory behind that.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Yeah.
You're not going to be delivering without a uterus. But so have a practical plan. If you want a child, just know that it's going to come through a different way. So when you have dreams, make sure that they are practical and not out of this world crazy. However, I also encourage dream big, 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 big. So that's what I got.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks so much, folks, for tuning in tonight. Sheila, thank you. I mean, really mean it. That was awesome. I'll drop you a line. And we'll just, as your schedule permits, whenever you want to do something like this, and I'd love to be on your channel too at some point. I have to figure out how would we do that? Would I just bring questions to you?
I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. I always have something fun to do.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Well, this was great. I really enjoyed it. Learned a lot too. And it was fun. It was good to see the pups as well. That was nice.
I think you have psychic abilities, and that's the reason why you're with us.
Do you really think so? I hear there are people in the chat, but
I would love to challenge you.
Oh, geez.
I would love for you to go get a thing of cards and maybe real time look at them and see what happens.
I do. I have a deck.
See,
Sheila sent me a deck. I have one.
Honey, I really do. You don't. It's like you don't. If you hang around in a barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut.
This is true. Yeah.
And that's like you're hanging around us awful lot. I'm pretty sure you're one of us.
Yeah, well, I've always, I'm curious. I didn't realize it's all the different facets of the metaphysical world as well. Like I had my chart read for the first time a year or two ago. That was pretty fascinating. We're going to learn about the Akashic records with Deborah tomorrow night. I don't know much about that. So I like it. It's all I like absorbing.
Well, maybe on my channel, so we'll have something fun. I say, we're going to have Corey read some tarot cards. Let's see how that goes.
You asked for it, Sheila. But...
I love it. So you will have to go online and have some fun.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm in.
All right, cool.
So,
good.
Okay. Thank you, Sheila. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.
Yes. Bye, guys.